The following is a review of the practice of cardiac sonography online exam that occurred in week 13. Question 1. 2D linear measurements of the LV made at end diastole are important for determining wall thickness and chamber size. These measurements are aided by noting which two of the following. At end diastole, the left ventricle is its largest, and this occurs at or just after the QRS complex. Question 2. Which of the following, more than one, about pulse wave Doppler are correct? The Nyquist limit can be adjusted, and if flow is not parallel, it will be underestimated. So the correct answers are 1. Information is received from a sample volume that can be moved, and secondly, the display shows information about the velocity of blood flow. Question 3. Which of the following best describes parasternal short axis images? Parasternal images are perpendicular, that is at right angles, to long axis images of the heart. Question 4 asked you to indicate the normal maximum blood flow velocity across the aortic valve. This is normally between 1 and 1.7 meters per second. Question 5. When a parasternal long axis view is conventionally displayed, what structures appear at the bottom of the sector? Posterior structures are conventionally displayed at the bottom of the sector. Question 6. What does the image or index marker on the transducer indicate? The marker indicates the part of the scan plane that will appear on the right of the display. Question 7. This asked for a distinction between tissue Doppler and the other three kinds of Doppler imaging. In short, as tissue Doppler measures the movement of the myocardium in contrast to the movement of blood, the signals are of lower velocity and higher in amplitude. Question 8 is about the alignment of the apical four-chamber view. A well-aligned apical four-chamber view should include the LV apex, RV free wall, and the two atrioventricular valves, that is the mitral and tricuspid valves. It should not include the semilunar valves. Question 9 asked for features of the apical two-chamber view. Of the options available, the anterior LV wall and left atrium are correct. Question 10. Why do subcostal images usually provide a clear 2D image of the interatrial septum? In contrast to parasternal and apical views where the interatrial septum is more parallel to the ultrasound beam, from the subcostal window the septum is more perpendicular and therefore better for 2D imaging. Question 11. In this question, information about LV pressure was asked for. Pressure within the LV increases significantly in systole and diastole, increases rapidly in early systole, and exceeds aortic pressure in early systole. Therefore, the only correct option is B. At times, LV pressure is less than the pressure in the LA, which is the case during ventricular diastole. Question 12. The spectral Doppler display provides all of the following information except what? The correct option is A. Spectral Doppler does not provide information about the specific type of blood flow. Question 13. Which 2D imaging control should be adjusted if near-field structures are too bright? Time gain compensation, TGC, is the only option that enables specific control of brightness in the near field. In question 14, you are asked to indicate what an increase in frequency does. The one improvement an increase in frequency brings is in resolution. Question 15. Blood flowing away from the transducer at a velocity just below the Nyquist limit will be color-coded what? Light blue. Question 16. To increase the depth of penetration, what should be decreased? Depth of penetration is not related to gain or reject or amplitude. Frequency affects the depth of penetration. The lower the ultrasound probe frequency, the better the depth of penetration. Question 17. The control used to eliminate low frequency Doppler shift is D. The filter. Question 18. A narrow imaging sector does what? It increases the frame rate. Question 19. The supine position is best for subcostal images. Question 20. From a parasternal short axis image at the level of the mitral valve leaflets, in what direction should the ultrasound beam be moved to image the aortic valve? While the mitral and aortic valve annuli are in a similar horizontal plane, from the parasternal short axis view at the level of the mitral valve leaflets, moving the beam modestly superiorly will enable images of the aortic valve. This table shows the distribution of marks for the online exam.